and welcome to another extraordinary sunrise out here in the Masai Mara. Though, of course, we're an hour ahead of everybody at Djuma, so for us, the sun's been up for a little while, and we've been wondering about doing various permit-related things. My name is Jamie. This morning, Dave is on camera with me. Well done, Dave. You managed to not knock the monitor off. The moment I can see what you're looking at by virtue of the monitor that I'm looking at, that I keep forgetting every time I sit back down to go and drive off, and every time Dave has to remind me not to leave it sitting on top of the vehicle. So starting off our morning with a big elephant bull who's slowly but surely wandering towards the escarpment. And I realized as Dave and I were driving down, if today is in fact the 11th of July, which I believe it is, no, June. That's right. The 11th of June, close enough, that 2 years ago today, I did my very first interview for Wild Earth, and I remember being absolutely terrified. That, of course, was the morning of Tingata, not Tingana, the male leopard, and the Stig's Pride, as opposed to the Styx Pride. So, how times have changed since then. Who would have guessed in 2 years' time I'd be sitting with Dave here out in the vast open plains of Kenya? 2 whole years, how time has flown. And what exciting times lie ahead, I wonder. Where will we be in the next 2 years? But it's been a very special 2 years shared with all of you. Right, don't forget, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. We will figure out where we're going to go. I think I'm going to go visit the lions quickly, and I have the advantage of knowing where the lions are, but Taylor does not, but she is on the search for them. And of course, with the sausage pride, they're little sausages. I still haven't got to know this pride at all, so it'll take a little bit of time before we get to know them in the way that we know the Nkuhumas or the Styx pride, for example. But they've been hanging out around this buffalo kill for the last 2 days, and I think at some point we'll be able to get a little bit closer. I'll just have to figure my way around. When you don't know the road networks, it gets a bit confusing. But I'm pretty sure we can get closer to them there and have a slightly better view. But how's that? Lions lounging in the shade with the most spectacular view imaginable. It's amazing how those fake cell phone trees stick out at the top of the ridge there. You can see so clearly. But we'll go back to the lions. Well, they've gorged themselves on the buffalo. There's not that much left of it. And it's time to sit and rest with very full bellies. It'd be fun to get a bit closer now, once the cubs have had their breakfast, to get a little bit closer so that we can watch them as they start to play. It's still nice and cool here. In this part of the world, it doesn't heat up. It doesn't get as cold as it gets in Djuma in the middle of the winter, but it also doesn't heat up as quickly as it does. So it's only going to get quite hot around about 9 or so, I would say, especially with the breeze that's blowing. Which for lions is great news because it means they're going to be more active. Very, very noticeable notches on their ears. John, I have absolutely no idea why they are called the Sausage Pride. Morning, everybody. I would suggest that it's because there's a bit of confusion as to whether it's the Sausage Tree Pride or the Sausage Pride. There's different names given to them at different times. I thought that antenna was going to hit you on the head, Dave. One of the vehicles has quite a large antenna sticking out of it. I suppose we should know all about that. I would guess and say it's because they've been associated with a big Kigelia species, so a sausage tree species. Oh, look at this. This is going to be beautiful. We've got elephants approaching. Elephants very often chase things like lions. They don't particularly like predators. But we've seen, while we've been around here, that the elephants generally, when they've got a lot of space, they're generally quite tolerant of the predator species. So if I duck, does that help you, Dave? Yes, much better. You don't want to look at my head when there's elephants making their way towards the lions. Oh, we've stopped for a second. You can see the wind making them a little bit antsy. I suppose it doesn't affect them as much as it might in Djuma, where it's so much thicker. I just need to steal my monitor back. Dave's showing us a beautiful view of the sky. It's a lovely sky, Dave. Hello, Ellies. They've changed their angle slightly, so now they're actually walking towards us rather than the lions. And the elephants are just as relaxed here. See the big female on the left, long, long tusks. You're looking a little wide, girl. Have that slow, peaceful walk. There's a little one, and you can see how long the grass is because the little one basically disappears. And the lion cubs are watching intently. They've got that natural curiosity of the young. There you go, look at that. Hey, little one. So we've got the lions watching the elephants approach, and Mary is saying, "What sweet elephants." We're very lucky to be able to spend as much time as we do with the creatures that we do. That baby's completely disappeared now. You wouldn't barely know that there was a baby elephant there. Oh, bottoms. Indecisive as to which way they're going to go. I think they probably, because the wind is blowing straight at them, they can probably smell the buffalo carcass. Now, Arrogant Clay, you want to know whether or not the lions would ever hunt elephants. Lions can and do hunt elephants, and apparently they have been reported to hunt elephants in this area, but very, very seldom. You need quite a large lion pride, especially with males. Oh, there's water there. That's why they've stopped there. Especially with a male, because they just add that extra level of strength. But it's more common in places like Botswana, for example, where the lions go after elephants, because it's a very dangerous thing for a lion to hunt an elephant. I mean, hunting in general is dangerous. Buffalo, hippo, they can all cause a lion serious injury, but an elephant, oh, wait guys, I want to drink too. Tail out, wait for me. And it's usually the young bulls at the back that lions will hunt, but they'll only really do it if they have to. And out here, there's no real necessity for them to hunt elephant, particularly in the coming weeks when wildebeest basically jump down their throats, essentially. They don't even have to go looking for prey. It just kind of is there. That female's definitely pregnant. Look at the way she's bulging out, asymmetrically as well. I can't wait to get a live elephant birth on camera. That would be so special. I don't think it's imminent, just by the way, but it would be very special. Here we go. Everybody's had a drink. You can see slightly on alert, obviously because they can smell the lions and they can... Hello. Megan, you would like to know, how does she have such a young baby and still be pregnant? That's a very good question, actually. The baby might not actually be hers. She might be the matriarch of the herd. Though I can't see another female that it could belong to. No, it is her baby. Good point. Maybe she's just got a seriously full tummy. Because if you look at that baby, it's a little bit too long. There's two little babies, though. The gap between births is usually about 5 or 6 years. So there's definitely females in this herd that have had babies that's not just her. Perhaps we're not seeing... Oh, there we go. That's why. We're not seeing all of the herd. There's another female coming along behind. Alice, please don't forget to mute me. Zoe? No, the baby is not in danger of the lions at all. I don't think the lions are going to tackle this herd today. There's a couple of big females that have actually moved through in the back. There's a couple more still coming. So no, they will not in any way be a threat. In fact, the cubs might even move out of the way. The lions might move out of the way, depending on where the elephants go. Let's just stick here for now, because the elephants are getting closer. They've smelt the lions at least. I don't think they've seen still coming. So no, they will not in any way be a threat. In fact, the cubs might even move out of the way. The lions might move out of the way, depending on where the elephants go. Let's just stick here for now, because the elephants are getting closer. They've smelt the lions at least. I don't think they've seen. And the gap is closing. And usually the females tend to be slightly more disgruntled by the presence of predators. You can see trunks up in the air. They can smell them. They can't see them. Elephants' sense of smell is very powerful, but their eyesight is not fantastic. So they know something's there. They're just not quite sure where or what. You can see slightly unsettled body language from the youngsters of the group. Look at that! What an awesome opportunity that was for a screenshot with all those trunks in the air. Sniffing, sniffing, sniffing. And now, everybody's frozen. Look at that. Standoff. That distance looks a lot less with my eye than it does with the camera. It really does. They're probably now about 30 meters away. It's amazing how that works. It depends on your... If the elephant is behind them, it always looks closer. If they're next to them, they look further away, because that's about 30 meters. See, the adult's not too bothered at all. The big female is not upset. A couple of big females at the back that are probably the mothers of the calves, not concerned at all. It's the youngsters that are slightly on edge. Just sniffing. Okay, and there they go. The big female leading them safely away. Two of Africa's iconic animals in one shot. Well, since our elephants have moved away, I think it's time for us to get a bit closer to our lion pride. So while we figure out our way around, let's go back to Ali, who's still searching for her lions. Stumbling into the lions, and now we've got hyenas, although I would say that these hyenas haven't stumbled in. They are here with every intention of trying to sneak towards the kill. So, we're right next to the buffalo. The lions are quite far away. There's plenty of meat still on the buffalo. That's a termite mound, Dave. That's a buffalo. Good try, though. Good effort. Now, there's not enough hyenas to challenge the lions just yet. There's only 2 of them here. But how bold are they going to be? You can see the lions not too concerned, actually. The one female's keeping an eye on what those hyenas do. But the relaxed body language of the lions might just give the hyenas a false sense of security. Look at the way it's sniffing the air. Now, imagine if you're that height. They know that there's a carcass here. They know that there are lions here. They can see some of them, but they don't know if they can see all of them. And a lion could easily be hiding in the long grass, perhaps even sleeping right next to the carcass. They're only 1 meter high. So the hyena can't see all that far. So it's got to rely on its nose. You can see sniffing, looking, listening, waiting to see whether or not it's worth the risk. One just that little bit bolder than the other. The elephants have moved off and the scavengers have moved in. So now what? Hyena? Is there a third one? Where'd you see a third one? Oh, there we go. There's number 3. Oh, the numbers get higher. I wonder how many of them are wandering about. If this is the clan that lives around the escarpment, it might not be. I still haven't worked out exactly the hyena dynamics, but there could easily be over 40 hyena in this clan. So if they really were feeling the need to, they could call in reinforcements. There's a hyena bounding through the grass now. Good morning, David. Yes, indeed. I think that's exactly what the hyenas are looking around for. So, David wants to know if they're looking for a male lion. Yes, quite possibly. They're looking for a male lion. They're looking for a female that they haven't spotted. They're looking for anything, and particularly a male lion, because, of course, a male lion is just that much bigger and stronger than a female. And probably, because it doesn't have cubs to protect, far more inclined to actually attack. And once again, it looks further than it is, I promise. That's about 50 meters between the lions and the hyenas now. One female is still keeping an eye on them. She might be extra protective because she's got cubs with her. I don't think, I could be completely mistaken because the grass is so long, but I don't think the male's here. I think he's moved off sometime during the night and gone off to meet up with his other coalition members. And Julie, there we go, perfect opportunity to answer your question. Even though we're looking at a hyena, it's relevant because, well, it's the thing that the hyena is scared of. Julie, yes, a male lion can have more than one pride. That's why we don't talk about males in a pride. That's why we talk about a male coalition. So a male coalition will control a territory, and it could be one lion, although he's at a distinct disadvantage. It could be 2, 3, 4 at a time, even up to 6, sometimes 7 or 8 in very extraordinary recorded cases. And what they'll do is they'll control a territory, and the more there are, the bigger the territory can be. And then that territory will encompass the territories of several different prides. So it might be that you get a coalition with just one pride that they control or that they're dominant over. But in the case of this current coalition, from what we understand, and bear in mind that the information I'm giving you now, we're still coming to grips with the dynamics in the area. We don't necessarily know it as well as we do the lines of the Sabi Sand. But the 4 boys that control this area, as far as we know, are dominant over the Sausage Tree Pride, or the Sausage Pride. We need to figure out what the official name is. And the Ngama Pride and the Olololo Lions. Say that 5 times fast. Olololo Lions. And welcome to Mita. As always, you want to know how many prides there are in the Mara. Sure, that's a difficult one for me to answer. I would say, I'm still getting to know the different ones. I would say that there's probably, what did we count yesterday? Over 150 lions in the area that we're driving around. There's a couple of different prides, so let me just list the ones that we know we could see, and it might help you to just get an idea of how many there are. Let's count them together, shall we? So we've got the Ngama Pride, the Olololo Pride, the Sausage Tree Pride, the Paradise Pride, the Serena Pride, the Magoro Pride, the Ridge Pride, the Salas Pride, the Marsh Pride, potentially, we still haven't seen them yet, the Border Pride, the Egyptian Goose Pride, don't ask me, the Ngiro Are Pride, the Purungat Pride. So already we're on 13 different lion prides. That's a lot of different lions that we still have to get to know. And we still haven't learned the different members yet because a lot of them are really spread out. Remember, this is a much, much bigger area than we usually drive around in. And obviously, for those of you that are new to these live safaris, you will see that there are other vehicles with us in the sighting. That's because people come here to see these amazing sights. Like, for example, the situation with the hyena and the lions watching each other. We're not going anywhere. I think we're in the perfect position if these hyenas do come towards the carcass. So, we're going to send you back over to Djuma to find out whether or not Ali's had any more luck with her lions. Alright, so the way that our situation played out was the hyena got a little bit too close to the carcass, the lioness stood up, and the hyena ran away. So something of an anticlimax, but but it has meant that I think the two mothers were just slightly concerned about the safety of their cubs and decided actually it might be better to lead them a little bit away from the kill itself. They've obviously decided they've eaten their fill. They've got two little ones with them, and so they've led them off into the shade. There we go. Well done, girls. Perfect spot. Plenty of shade. There's some water. The ideal place to spend the rest of the morning. And once these lions lie down, I think that's pretty much it. They're going to disappear into the long grass. You can hear the guinea fowls not terribly happy with the presence of so many big cats. I can hear them. Can't see them. It's a sound that's so familiar in an unfamiliar area. It was interesting watching the hyena-lion dynamic. The hyena was watching the whole time what the lions were doing, and it was only when it came within about 20 meters or so of the carcass that the one lioness stood up. And immediately that signal was received by the hyena, and it turned tail and disappeared. But it was a game of patience, because now the lions are far enough away that those hyenas could go straight back to that buffalo kill. If this is the sausage pride, which we've been told it is, there should be more females. Obviously these two are separate. They've got two sets of cubs with them. Two little ones and two big ones. But let me just try and remember. I believe we were told that the sausage pride has 5 lionesses. No, 6 lionesses. Apologies. Yoli, there you go. You were wondering about how big the sausage pride is. Apparently it's got 6 lionesses and 5 cubs. I suspect that's now 7 cubs with the addition of these 2 little ones, and we haven't added that onto our list. We've kind of been trying to keep track from what we've been told and what we've been taught by the other guides, and they were the ones that have told us that this is the sausage pride, but we're still trying to get to grips with the dynamic. So where the other 4 females are, presumably with another 3 cubs elsewhere, I do not know. It's quite common, though, for lion prides to be in different places at different times. We see it all the time with the Nkuhumas. Oh, a little bit of affection there between the lionesses. Clean up all of that buffalo muck. There you go. Who needs a napkin when you've got a friend, or a sister, or an aunt? And what's so sweet about that is you can actually see the love and the enjoyment. Or not, you know. Never mind. I'll just keep my mouth shut then. So much for that being enjoyment. Oh, and that little one. Too sweet. I think it is just 2 sets of cubs of 2 different ages. But there's a noticeable size difference between the youngest ones. Morning. Oh, happy lions after a belly full of buffalo. Little one giving itself a clean. Have you noticed how dark the eyes are of the lions that we've been seeing? They've all got that very, very dark eye gene. Obviously, that's not unexpected. It's quite a common eye colour, even though amber eyes in the Nkuhuma pride is the only one with it. It's quite common to see lionesses or lions with amber eyes. And I haven't seen a single lion with light-coloured eyes here. Not yet, anyway. I've seen the ridge pride. I've seen one of the Ngama females. I've seen half-tail. I've seen Fang, the 2 males out of 4 for the dominant coalition. Oh, cute. What's she looking at? Bright-eyed curiosity. Too sweet. Oh, did anybody get a shot there under the tail? I was distracted. Morning. the tatty ears. Take lots of screenshots because that will be really useful for identifying these ladies when we see them again in the future. Because we cover such enormous distances, I think we're going to find keeping up with the different lion prides not difficult, but certainly more complicated because there's just more options. Unfortunately, we've actually got a long way that we need to go, so we're going to leave our beautiful lions for now and head off on our journey. But while we do that, let's send you back over to Djuma. We've arrived at the magnificent flowing Mara River, and many other M adjectives that are and we've got a combination of rocks and moving rocks as they duck not look deep enough to hide a hippo. How crazy is that? In my imagination, that was a sort of a rocky point where it was shallow and the river was streaming over it, but then the entire hippo just vanished in there. Shame, imagine being a poor wildebeest trying to cross there. There? How's your audio your side? Can you hear me? Hold on. How's your audio? Maybe I've gone off on my side. I have gone off on my side. Alice, you'll have to link away. My batteries have died.
Oh, I've got more.
Okay. Alright, let's go from one river to another. We'll see you shortly. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? After our disastrous initial attempt at this Mara River crossing, what I was trying to say, apparently very softly, was just how surprised I was at how deep that rocky pool was. I really thought that was a shallow patch of water. It looks like a shallow patch of water. But there we go. A pile of living rocks and a pile of, well, non-living rocks. A hippopod all clustered together. And every now, oh, there's a baby. There's a tiny, tiny baby at the back there. And this is a spot that we're going to be visiting very frequently over the coming weeks, especially when the migration actually gets here. Don't know where they are. We haven't been down that way in a while. No, baby, come back. So we'll be able to observe this pod of hippos as they experience the migration and probably basically just find it a little bit of an annoyance. What I have been looking for is a big territorial crocodile. There's, in theory, one pretty much at every crossing point. I haven't found it, though. I thought I saw it, but I can't be certain. Could just be lurking in the water somewhere. We're desperately trying to get pictures of the various crocodiles at the various crossings. So if it would pop out right now, that would be marvellous. It's a nice morning to be out. The sun is really beautifully warm, and then the wind is quite cooling. So it's a really nice, pleasant temperature to experience. And this peaceful scene in front of us, and it really is very peaceful at the moment, is going to be completely transformed shortly. Is that the little one? Struggling, a different one, struggling to get on top of one of the other hippos. Life's tough when you're that tiny and everyone around you is massive. Especially if you can't stand at the bottom, you've got to find yourself a good place so you can go to sleep. There we go. Is that more comfortable? No, not quite. Or so sleepy. Far too young to have any tusks just yet. Come on, you can do it. Go and lie on your mum's back. That's the way. Up you go. Up you go. Mum's the perfect resting place. Oh dear, this isn't working out as well as you had planned, is it? Just to get that position so it doesn't slide off while it sleeps. You want to know if these hippos are trying to stay warm? That could be. I don't think they're too bothered by the cold, but I think there's a possibility that they're in the shallows there and enjoying the warmth of the sunlight on their backs. Hippos do like to sunbathe. As sensitive as their skin is to the sun, especially on cooler days, they like to be out of the water. They like to go and lie up on the banks and spend a bit of time out of water. So it's entirely possible they're enjoying basking a little bit before moving further into the shallows as the sun gets stronger. I know that it's much warmer here than it is on Djuma. Let's head back to Taylor with creatures that are also basking in the morning light. I hear that there's been something of a birding challenge going on Djuma. Well, Dave, I think we win, just by sheer virtue of size. Maybe not. Birding for us will become a lot easier when we're not jumping up and down out of the vehicle. I think once Pucker's up and running and our other two vehicles arrive, we'll be able to show you more of the extraordinary birds that you won't get to see on Djuma. But we do see lots and lots of ostriches. And something to anticipate in the future. It will happen at some point with one of us. It's impossible to predict who, but at some point we're going to get a cheetah ostrich hunt. And that's something I've been fortunate enough to witness a few times in the desert. It is an extraordinary competition of two speedsters, because of course an ostrich can run exceptionally fast, not quite as fast as a cheetah, and they also have very, very powerful legs. In fact, I suppose that goes without saying if you've got something that can run so fast. And they kick to defend themselves, both backwards and forwards. This is a male ostrich for our new viewers, the largest bird in the world. And the reason I know that it's male is because it is black and white rather than a sort of dusty brown color that the females have. And all the time that I've seen the ostriches, not so much with this one, but every time I've seen ostriches in company of females, they've had that distinctive red blush on their necks and around their faces that they get during breeding season. Apparently they breed all year round here, is what I've been told. So much like the impala, there's testosterone levels always running relatively high. Can't wait to see baby ostriches as well, Dave. Maybe not right now, because a baby ostrich would be pretty much invisible in this long grass, especially at this sort of distance. All right, Dave and myself have some admin to do, and it sounds like Ali's found a truly exciting bird of prey.